We are back with another episode of Lunes Live. Your favorite Compas got you covered with everything from the NFL Week 10. Obviously, tonight is Dolphins and Rams. The Rams are about to get reinforcements on the offensive line. That'll be positive. We will break down the Chargers' victory. They are now 6-3. Did Gilbert think at this point they would be 6-3? We will get into that. Gilberto's Cardinals blow out the New York Jets. What more about them can we say? Moving on, the Commanders and the Steelers get into a blowout. Is Russell Wilson leading the Steelers into Super Bowl contention? And we'll get into many more things. But all right, Gilberto, don't you have an engagement question for our viewers and or listeners?
Yes, I do. Kind of a lazy one because, as you can tell, I'm trying to go out into the world, and being a remote worker, I don't really put on collar shirts, and I forgot how to comb my hair apparently, and it feels weird. I wear hats all the time, and so here's a lazy one: who wins tonight, Rams or the Dolphins? After we're done recording, I'm gonna head out over there, sprint over to SoFi Stadium to cover this game, Rams or Dolphins. So let me know. And I don't know. I think the Dolphins might keep it a little close. They might be the best 2-win team in the NFL. That's actually weird to say, but they're not going to the playoffs. But they're respectable.
Their defense is terrible.
They have a terrible defense, but so do the Rams are better defensively. But the secondary could be a problem with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. I still think the Rams are going to win this one and pull it out. Not going to be a close one though. I mean, it's going to be a close one though. I can't even get my words straight. But let me know in the comments: Rams or Dolphins for the engagement question of the week.
All right, let's go with the intro.
Compas on the beat. Let's get it. Let's go.
Yeah. So where's Compas?
Yeah, we
there you go.
There you go. Okay, all right. We got proof right there.
Some guy that seems like he's asleep. Need you to wake up, Gilbert. There's a lot of energy.
Come on, Gilbert. Let's go.
Come on. Dan and Dago is at Moe's.
I'll show you. I'll show you. I got it right.
Okay, that's it. You guys, I am done with mine, but that's couldn't get better than a 2026 6th-round pick swap for a 7-rounder. So
Freaking love you, Chad.
Hey, dude. Cool, man.
Compas on the beat, man. Derwin James signing off, man. Watch Compas on the beat, man.
Welcome to Compas on the Beat. I'm Fernando Ramirez. I cover the Chargers for the Sporting Tribune. With me, as always, my co-host, my tag team partner, Gilbert Manzano, covers the NFL for Sports Illustrated. He will be back on the beat tonight at SoFi Stadium, a place that doesn't remember him. What's up, bro?
what's up, sir? Yeah, it's nice to go back out to the world and see a football game in person with my 2 eyes, But sometimes, Fernando, it's okay to watch from home, instead of having to deal with food at SoFi Stadium. But no, it's okay. We'll see if it was a good game tonight. Last time I was there was Rams and the Vikings, and that was a good game. So maybe tonight will be a good one too.
Lately, the halftime food has been pretty good.
Oh,
actually, not this
it's
game.
Always been the case, though. I feel like.
Yeah, the Saints game, they had some wings. Oh my god! Like I was like, I mean, not on the Hooters level, but like they were pretty up there. I was like, oh wow! I was like, all right, we're outdoing ourselves today. So yeah, no, it was pretty fire 2 weeks ago. Yesterday, they had chicken tenders. Wasn't bad. They had pigs in a blanket. That was actually pretty decent. So, but yeah, I know what you mean. By the way, last night, right around 7:45, 8, I'm pulling into San Diego, like almost downtown San Diego. I'm like, wow. Usually it's like I'm not pulling in until about 9. Or yesterday, I got my story done quickly thanks to the Chargers kind of pulling away.
Yeah, nice blowout.
And yeah, and I was like, all right, let's get out of here. Dante and I left. There was a beer in the well, you know where, and he kind of divulged a little bit too much. But I'm like, all right, let's get out of here. So definitely a fun time. Angel, what's up? He goes, damn, Compas, everybody's at work. Well, Gilbert has to head to SoFi. I
have to go to work.
Yeah, he couldn't do it. So we need to do that Dolphins game tonight, Gilberto. Look at that.
Jorge and I have a bet going. I don't know if you know about the bet, Fernando. So
no.
He thinks the Dolphins are going to get blown out by the Rams. I think it's going to be close. So I said, hey, give me the Dolphins +7. So if they lose by 7 or less, then I win the bet. And the bet is Jorge has to buy something from the Compas on the Beat merch store. Check the link in the description for the merch there. If the Rams blow out, No, if the Rams blow out the Dolphins, I have to use that stupid picture that he has there for my Twitter profile picture for I think
Oh, that'd be
for one day,
glorious.
for 1 day only. He was trying to make me do a whole week, but just 1 day.
I'd put at G Manzano, amazing Avi.
Oh yeah, you're gonna put attention to it too. I was hoping I
Exactly.
could just do it on some random slow day and not have to do anything.
Jorge, the last 2 times I haven't been in a while, but the last 2 times I had gone, they were actually pretty good. So and yeah. So I mean,
and I just
the talent
real quick,
isn't what it used to be, but
I linked the merch site in case people are interested because we're
Boom,
trying to
there
get
you
the
go.
Super Bowl Radio Row in New Orleans there.
Yeah, there you go. There's the merch site. So Jorge, hopefully you I'm actually going for Gilberto tonight, so you have to get something. But
yeah,
guys, James has an extra ticket to tonight's game.
Hey.
Does anybody want to go with Rams, Dolphins? If anybody wants to go, James has an extra ticket, so make sure you hit him up and say, hey, I'm in. So there you go. We're connecting people here.
Yeah, help them out. Yeah,
Matt says Cooter wings are always good. Yeah, exactly. Definitely. So
yeah, I can't remember the last time I've been to one though, Fernando. But
it had been a while for me, and it was so funny because the waitress comes up and she kind of like, because it was Daniel, my mom, and I, and she kind of like looks, and I'm like, yeah, this is our mom. And then she goes, oh wow, okay, like that's really nice. And I was like, Matt. Only reason I go.
There's now competition because Ojos Locos is
Ojos Locos, yeah. Ojos Locos is pretty crazy. The funniest part is still yeah, exactly. The waitress did do that. I still remember anytime I go to like Hooters, I still think or whenever I've gone, I think of the Michael Scott episode when he goes, she's like, what would you like to order? He's like, can I get the chicken breast, hold the chicken? She's like, is that really what you want to order? I'll take the hot dog.
How to get the joke out.
Yeah, no, hilarious. All right, Gilbert. Jumping into this, let's just quickly dive into Chargers Titans. Interesting game, Gilbert, because the Chargers started off by giving up a touchdown, similarly to the way they did to the Raiders in the first quarter of their Week 1 game. The Chargers hadn't given up a first quarter touchdown since that Raider game. Will Levis actually looked pretty decent. 18 of 23, 175, 2 touchdowns. He did get sacked 7 times. Calvin Ridley had 5 catches, 84 yards, 2 touchdowns. They ran the ball. I was surprised they didn't run the ball more, but Spears, 47 yards, Pollard, 44 yards, and Will Levis had 41 yards. So they kind of dropped the ball a little bit going away from the run, but the Chargers defense kind of turned the corner in the third quarter. They got more physical. They kicked up the physicality, and even Callahan said after the game they had physical dust, and I don't think that had happened at all this year, which Kenneth Murray didn't. In a video that Davenport, I can't remember his first name, the reporter for ESPN for the Titans, he kind of said, well, I wouldn't say we did all that, but it was a tough, hard-fought game, and those guys have some ballers on that side, so definitely pretty interesting to see. But on the other side, Gilbert, real quick, Herbert, 14 of 18, 164, 1 touchdown. Here was the interesting part. Well, besides him running 9 carries, 32 yards, 1 touchdown, the other interesting part, J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards combined for 25 carries for 105 yards. I'm sure those numbers will get better, but that's exactly what the Chargers had been looking for. Gus Edwards came back. He had 10 carries for 55 yards, 5.5 average. That is what the Chargers want. That is what they've been looking for. So here we go. And then on the other side, Young West is right. Deion Henley is he said Deion Henley isn't getting enough praise. He has really been all over the place, Gilbert. He's been tackling. He's been flying around. And I still think back to that interview, and I even told him, I still think back to that interview I did at your camp, and I remember all the stuff you told me. He's like, yeah, bro, we've come a long way, but we still got a long ways to go. And I was like, oh, there you go. So, but Gilbert, your impressions on this? Oh, and I don't know if I said it. Chargers beat the Tennessee Titans 27-17. There you go. All right.
I also picked the Chargers, so not a good day for the curse there, right? So the Chargers came through, but it is a Tennessee Titans, so I won't take a lot of credit there. But it's a good sign where we're nitpicking about a victory. The Chargers should have dominated a little more against the Tennessee Titans, but and we'll get into it in a bit. People are making a whole lot about the Chargers having a little bit of a cupcake schedule, not playing anybody good. But like you said last week, Fernando, you got to play the teams in front of you, and you got to beat them. You got to handle business. When you see the Falcons losing to the Saints there, you see who else was in an upset? Well, maybe not too many last week, but it happens every now and then, and you get caught in a trap game. The Lions were almost in a trap game with the Texans. The Panthers beat the Giants. The Panthers were underdog, but that's a bad game all around. But the point is, sometimes you get caught up, you slip up, and the Chargers haven't done that yet against a bad team. You know, they lost to a good team in the Steelers. They lost to a great team in the Chiefs there. But all the bad teams, they're beating them. So that, you know, you got to give them credit for that, Fernando. But I like what you said about Gus Edwards. You could tell there was a different kind of element to the offense there, where you got, you know, a little more physical running back, help you out in the short yardage situation at the goal line, and eventually you'll see J.K. Dobbins have a little more longer runs there with that balance of Gus and J.K. But you know, the Calvin really touchdown kind of threw me off a bit. I'm like, this is a dominant defense, but then you look up and it's still 17 points here. Yeah, a little over their average there, but that's nitpicking again. You know, you look at all the numbers there. The running game wasn't that great for Tennessee.
Well, I'm sure Jim's going to nitpick as well.
Yeah, and you should do that because you play the Bengals, who have a very explosive offense next week, so you can't let up big plays like that. Like, imagine, you know, allowing one play to Calvin Ridley is one thing. Allowing a whole bunch of plays to Jamar Chase is something totally different. So, you know, just got to fix little mistakes like that. But all you can really do is say, okay, you got the win, move on. You didn't fall into a trap game here. You had a Sunday Night Football showdown with the Cincinnati Bengals, who they're a 4-6 team, but they're a better 4-6 team because of that explosive offense there. So maybe we could get into Fernando, because, you know, I started looking at the strength of victories for all the teams in the playoffs right now in the AFC, and the Chargers are at the bottom there. I think it's like a plus 298 strength of record. I can't even say strength of record there. So they have to play better teams or beat better teams. They won't even get that with the Bengals there because they're 4-6. But who cares about that? Again, beat a team that's explosive on Sunday. But for the most part, I'm okay with everything they did on Sunday. They checked the box there, and you beat a bad team.
Gilbert, you said they haven't played anybody. Well, Bud Dupree has something to tell you.
Oh, okay.
Played everybody the Chiefs played. Same schedule. So what the difference is between us and the Chiefs? I mean, I'm for real. Like, can you answer that? So why they saying it?
That's
we
Chris
played everybody
Rim.
the Chiefs play, right?
Yeah. Compas.
All right. Did have a Chiefs play somebody?
What, top offense?
Yeah.
They play Cincinnati.
I'm saying like
Ravens.
He played on that week.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Nah, I'm saying I'm just here. I'm just the messenger, man. Don't kill me. Everybody the Chiefs played, we played, right? So I mean, they got a good defense.
Yeah.
Exactly. So call it tomato or tomato, whatever you want to call it. We're gonna continue to grind and continue to work hard. We just want to work hard. That's it.
How big is it for you guys?
Hold on, listen to this
one
next quote real fast, and then I'll get it.
nationally televised game in the first 9 weeks of the season or 10. Now you guys get 3 in that in the next 4. Just how exciting is that?
Somebody want to see her play. We got to prove them right. We can't go out here and we can't go out here and piss on our leg. We got to work harder and make.
Can't piss down your leg, Gilberto.
Yeah, no, I like that from Bud Dupree there, and I kept trying to answer it. Well, they played the Ravens, they beat the Ravens, and I'm looking at it right now. The Chiefs have the second best strength of victory in the current AFC playoff teams. The Ravens are number 1 there, so the Chiefs have played better teams for the most part, and also they're different because of first place schedule and what was it, a last place schedule for the Chargers? Yeah. So it does matter, but I like it though. Get a little chip on your shoulder, saying, "What are you talking about? We're not playing anybody." So here you go. You got the Bengals, you got the Ravens coming up, you got the Chiefs again. So they'll have opportunities.
Add Falcons.
Add Falcons. Who?
Oh yeah, they're a mess.
But they're up and down. But yeah.
But and this is what Bud even. I mean, after we stopped recording, he's like, "All right, now I can really talk shit to you guys." He's like, "I've seen that narrative." He's like, "We've seen it all over." He's like, "But keep on writing it." He's like, "Keep on writing." So I told him his name is Chris Rim from the Athletic or from the ESPN, and he starts laughing. Chris starts laughing, and he's like, and then Bud tells him, "There goes your boy throwing you under the bus." I was like, "Nah, I love this guy." He's like, "Nah, I can tell y'all have real love." He's like, "You wouldn't be throwing him under the bus if you didn't like him." I was like, "Oh yeah, no." But Bud said that they feel good right now. And then the other part is too, Gilbert. If you really notice, the numbers that they put up 13 sacks the last 2 weeks. and that's without Joey Bosa. Joey Bosa on a limited pitch count, and Khalil Mack barely even played yesterday. So that's even more impressive. The way they're doing this, it's like everybody is getting in on the sack party. Deion Henley had his first career sack yesterday, so he was really excited after the game. But the other part of this is the emergence of, and again, Jorge, the funny part about this whole thing is too, or the interesting part is, there was a lot of criticism on Twitter about Tuli Tuipulotu. He only had 0 sacks going into the New Orleans game. Ever since the New Orleans game, he has 5.5 sacks. So I mean, he's really turned it on as of late, and the defense is playing well. The only thing is that they need to the only thing is that they need to be able to take the ball, take care, or be able to cause turnovers. I was really surprised they couldn't cause one against Will Levis yesterday. So that was kind of surprising. The other thing is going to be too against Cincinnati. One key is going to be sacking the quarterback. They need to continue that. If they can get after Joe Burrow, you're going to be able to have success. He's not going to be able to get it to his weapon. So yeah, I definitely see that. Original Wiz says, dude, Fernando, when you're holding that cell phone for Derwin, you had that look on your face I used to have when my dad made me hold the light so he could fix it the car. What does that even mean?
I guess maybe
like excitement,
a little bit of excitement, or maybe you're helping out, or did somebody catch you on camera there for the Chargers?
I don't know. Somebody caught me with the Joey Bosa, because like I was on the side of Joey, and I get my buddy at NBC. They did a whole story on the Chargers, and he's like, I could see you with Joey. He's like you're cheesing, and I was like, no, I wasn't. Like, you just answered a question. I thought it was funny, and so I laughed. So
well, it's like that picture that Joe Reedy has of you smiling when you're holding up the phone with Melvin Gordon.
Melvin Gordon.
You have that nice grin, and like you're excited to be there, smile all the time.
Well, no, and it was that Melvin Ingram was like, he was like, Mel, why are you even talking to those guys? He's like, they were writing all that bad shit about you. Just leave. Who cares about them? So it was after the holdout. So yeah, I love this. Jorge, Joe Reedy was dressed like a pimp during yestay's locker room access, which is completely true.
I like it. Styling and profiling.
Yeah, exactly. That's always Joe. But last thing, do you have a last thing on Chargers Titans, or are you good?
No, I just want to hear people's thoughts about that. Are people worried about the easy schedule so far, or do you want to see the do you want to see the Chargers beat the Bengals, or will you not give them credit because the Bengals are 4-6 there, or they're a different 4-6 team? So maybe but I think for me to answer that question, Fernando, I think if they beat the Bengals, it's going to go a long way because, one, you prove that defense is legit by maybe shutting down Joe Burrow, and two, Justin Herbert on the offense could go toe-to-toe with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. So I think to me, a lot of questions will be answered Sunday Night Football, and I don't care about them being 4-6 there. They got, even the Ravens could potentially be a little bit fluky because they win these close games here. The Bengals haven't.
And what was it? Who do they play yet? Who do the Ravens play? Oh, and they played the Bengals. You know who they play next, though? And that's what I was telling. Well, I was telling you about one of the conversations that I had. They play the Steelers this week. That's not going to be an easy game for the Ravens before playing the Chargers. That's going to be a tough game. So, like, I think both the Chargers and the Ravens are playing tough opponents. But I mean, both of those teams could be like a balloon and kind of deflate by the time they play each other on Monday. So
and they're coming out to LA too. Both of these teams are coming out to LA.
Exactly. So it's gonna be a tough go. Young West says, I don't believe it until we beat the Bengals, Ravens, or Chiefs. We have to beat a good team. We lost to the Steelers barely. Same with the Chiefs and the Cards. So yeah, they're
gotta see it to believe it.
Exactly. All right, Gilbert. The LA Rams play tonight on Monday Night Football against the
Monday night.
Exactly. Against the Miami Dolphins. The game's interesting because the Rams are trending in the right direction. They want to keep hold behind the Arizona Cardinals that just keep on winning. In turn, the Dolphins look like they're sunk. Their season's kind of over with. Not over with. They can still technically, they're not eliminated, so they can make a run. But it just doesn't. It looks like a fish out of water. It doesn't look pretty. Tyreek Hill has a hurt wrist, I think, and it just hasn't looked nice for them. But what do you think? Do you think the Rams defense will struggle tonight, or do you feel like they'll rise to the occasion and give them a good game?
First of all, it is difficult to fork the Dolphins because I think that 7 seed is going to be up for grabs through the whole season. I think the top 6 might make it already. But the Broncos, the Bengals, the Colts, I don't know about the Jets. But anyways, the point is,
the Broncos would have to really, they would really have to completely fall flat on their face.
Yeah, but they're only 1 game ahead of the Bengals. So I think it might come down to those 2 teams. But that's kind of a little bit of hope here for those other bad teams that want to push, like the Jets and the Dolphins. But yeah, the Dolphins win here. They already have the same record as the Jets here, who were just terrible in Arizona. But I do worry for the Rams a little bit, Fernando, because they have a tendency of allowing a lot of explosive plays, big plays. Last week, Jackson Smith and Jigba went off on them for 180 yards and 2 touchdowns. We all remember the Juwan Jennings games were 3 touchdowns. We remember Jefferson Williams game in week 1. Remember the Marvin Harrison Jr. game in week 2. So they're not a very good secondary. They're a better defense, though, Fernando. That defensive front is finally turning pressures into sacks and game-changing plays there. So they could be all over Tua. And that offensive line for the Dolphins is not good at all, Fernando. But if they get any type of time here for Tua to throw down the field, they could really get exposed there with that bad secondary with Tyreek and Waddle. But if they get pressure with these young studs like Jared Verse, Braden Fisk, Byron Young, and Kobe Turner, that the game is over. If they get to Tua, that's all you have. The Dolphins, all they have, we know, is down the field shots there. So Mike McMuffins is cooked here. So Jorge is really rooting for the Rams to beat the Dolphins here. But I think it's going to be a close game because of that one element being the strength of the Dolphins and a big weakness for the Rams here.
I agree. The one thing is going to be the pass rush of the pass, because I don't really like. What's up, Robert? I really don't like the. I don't like the Dolphins' offensive line. So I feel like that's kind of a point of struggle. And I think they're going to be all over Tua the whole game. So they're going to need to strategize. I've said it before. The Dolphins prioritize throwing the ball down the field. I think they need to prioritize those running backs. I think that they have a good group of running backs that could succeed. The thing is that they don't do it as much. So I feel like that might be the key to success. You know who's going to benefit the most from oh God, I can't remember. Hold on. Jonah Jackson and Steve Avila being back is going to be Kyren Williams. Kyren Williams has had 20 to 25 carries as of late a game, but he's only averaging like 3 yards a carry. Now with these guys back, it is going to be a running fest for him. So I totally think, I don't think the Rams will struggle that much against Tyreek Hill. I think if their pass rush can get there and if they can run the football well on offense, because I know everybody wants Puka and Cooper, but protecting Matthew Stafford, the easiest way is by having him hand the ball off to Booby, but picking and choosing his spots. I'm telling you, the art of play action is really coming back, and I really feel like that's why teams like the Chargers are having success, even though we'll get into the Lions in a bit, but the Lions are also succeeding because of the play action. So yeah, I truly think that that's 5 interceptions. I truly think that is going to be the key to success. I think Kyren Williams has the bigger game tonight, Jorge. I think they're going to really try and go with him. By the way, I don't know if you noticed, going back real quick to the Charger game, it was over by like 4:00.
Oh yeah, it was quick.
It was a quick game. Like
they had a whole full quarter in the Jets and Cowboys game. It was so terrible. I was watching on Red Zone. They kept going back to those 2 games because there was nothing else.
He must have been pissed. Scott Hansen must have been pissed.
Dude, he went quiet for like 10 minutes while they're showing Aaron Rodgers and Cooper Rush trying to score, and they couldn't score. It was bad.
That's so bad. So if you're asking me who's going to win tonight, I'll tell you right now, the Rams are going to win. I think the Dolphins are kind of done. Obviously, they're not going to get rid of Mike McDaniel because of they just gave him a contract extension. But what do you do if you're the owner? Because Chris Greer is your GM. You've gone with Chris Greer. You've stayed with him. This roster is not very good. It's very top heavy. So why wouldn't you let go of? Why wouldn't you if if you were him, why did you give Tua the contract extension? Why'd you give it to Mike McDaniel? Why didn't you wait to see what happened this season? And if things didn't materialize, you start over with a new GM and you start over with a new head coach. But he has a lot of faith in Mike McDaniel.
I don't think they're going to change Fernando because Chris Greer is so good at finding the players that Mike McDaniel wants, but it just those players that he wants hasn't really done much. His bombs away method hasn't worked, and they're going to keep trying. So it's weird. So I feel like this last season, Fernando, the Dolphins should take the time to tinker with the roster, tinker with the scheme, try something new. You're already committed to the same players, the same coaching staff. This is not going anywhere. But try something new because you haven't done anything, and maybe they try it against the Rams here tonight.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. All right, Gilbert, let us go now to our takeaways. Which one do you want? Or do you want to go first? Do you want to kick or receive?
I'll receive here. Let's see how people feel about this one here. But I'm starting to believe in Russell Wilson and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I didn't think I would be saying those words here, and I do like that Russell Wilson has unlocked the passing game for the Steelers, who beat my Commanders. Oh my God, I really wanted that win there, Fernando. For those Commanders, I don't root for anybody, but for the Commanders, But my Commanders failed me, and Russell Wilson throwing that pass to Mike Williams. And by the way, Mike Williams having a nice week there after being yelled a whole lot at a whole lot of times by Aaron Rodgers and saying you're running the wrong route, turning that bus backwards and hitting Mike Williams. Well, it turns out he could still play. And I started thinking in that Cardinals game against the Jets, why couldn't you use him as a third wide receiver behind Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams? But what the hell do I know? I only watched the guy for 6-7 years, Fernando, make a bunch of plays for the Chargers. Just lob it up, throw it up for Mike Williams and Aaron Rodgers. I know it's not an Aaron Rodgers take, but just throw it in there. And Aaron Rodgers is so, I guess, he's a serious quarterback. He wants things done the right way, his way. And you got Russell Wilson over here giving away cheesy quotes, but he's just lobbing it up. Here you go, Mike. Go make a play. And he's playing freely that way. George Pickens is playing freely. George Pickens is a weird cat, but just throw it up for the guy. Tap it in, like you said. But go ahead. No! Look at that smile. No, man, I gotta go. Yeah.
That's kind of a shot in Mike's own way.
Yeah.
That's kind of like, I got a dub. Like,
I remember these 2-minute interviews with Mike Williams, but somehow he came away laughing and smiling. He didn't say anything, but it was just fun energy for Mike Williams there. So it was good to see him get that touchdown there, but just throw it in there. Russell's like, yeah, F it, Mike Williams somewhere down there. Why couldn't Aaron Rodgers do that? I didn't get that, but this is not about them right now. I like the complete effort, Fernando. And yeah, maybe you don't have a Joe Burrow or Lamar Jackson, but you have a defense. The secondary is okay, but not the best. You got TJ Watt. We'll see what happens about Alex Highsmith. I think he got hurt. You got Preston Smith, but you got a bunch of good players there. You got Patrick Queen, who the Ravens miss a lot. So I guess the question I could turn back to you, Fernando, like, am I wild to say that I'll give the Chargers credit. The complete teams are more balanced rosters are the teams that could beat the Chiefs, like the Steelers, like the Chargers. These high-scoring games with the Bengals and the Ravens, it's fun and all. You're not going to do crap in the playoffs when you have no defense to stop Patrick Mahomes there. So, and then your offense could get shut out by Spagnuolo in any day. Like, so, you got to be more balanced here. So I think teams like the Steelers, even the Chargers, not the Texans, they're frauds. I'm tired of the Texans. How do you lose that game to the Lions after 5 interceptions of Jared Goff? Get out of here. But I think the Steelers, man, they're really making noise here because they have a complete roster, a complete team to beat the teams like the Chiefs. The Ravens and the Bills are a team, but I think they're frauds, man. I've seen the movie before. I've seen them too many times choke. They should have lost that game to the Colts, by the way, but the Colts are.
Amari Cooper's not even playing right now. That's the crazy part.
And even Kenny Moore, the cornerback for the Colts, was calling out the Colts like, hey, you guys are not putting any effort. You're not working hard. The Bills should have been in a close game yesterday, and they weren't because the Colts or whatever. But anyways, the point is, I'm liking the Steelers to be the number 2 team in the AFC right now. What do you think?
No, I don't think you're far off with that take at all. This weekend's going to tell me everything I need to know when they play the Ravens, but I do think that they're in the step of the right direction. I've never seen a head coach be able to switch quarterbacks mid-season, and the other quarterback didn't do anything wrong. It's just that the other quarterback got healthy. And he was 4-2. This one comes in and he's 3-0. Like, it's just impressive to see the way that they've kind of handled this and the way they've gone along. So definitely really impressive to see what the Steelers are doing. The thing about the Steelers is too, They have a gritty defense. They have a lot of pressure. They can pressure you from a lot of different areas on defense. On the offensive side of the football, they have 2 of everything. They have 3 solid receivers. Not solid. They have 2 solid receivers, and then they have Terrell Austin that can really be a guy that could electrify the offense. Their offensive line is their offensive line is kind of my worry. But as of right now, it hasn't been a problem. I think if Jonathan Allen would have played yesterday, I mean, he's hurt, but it would have been, maybe that would have been a little bit different. But hey, you're playing the cards that you're dealt, and they're doing a good job. They have 2 good running backs in Najee Harris, and you have I can't remember the other guy.
Jaylen Warren.
Jaylen Warren, thank you.
Who had a bad fumble like near the goal line too.
Yeah. By the way, the guitar came out yesterday. Did you see?
Yeah, I saw him like do it, and then he stopped. I'm like, do you not want to keep it going? But it was weird. He thought about doing it.
You know what's funny? I was talking about it with somebody yesterday. I'm like, I wonder if Austin's been asked that by the media out there. Like, oh, do you play the guitar? Do you have a guitar? Do you
the same question?
All this stuff. Yeah, exactly. No, but I think you're spot on, Gilbert. I think the thing that the Steelers and the Chargers have is a good defense, and those other teams in the AFC just don't have that. Like the Bengals, like as we just saw, you could put 42 on them, at will almost. And I know people are going to say the lack of weapons on the Chargers. Their offense could still put up a bunch of points, and they could match those. Those cornerbacks are not very good on. That's why they were trying out Xavier Howard. And then on the other side, I know Marlon Humphrey, and they have some other playmakers like that. But the Ravens don't have a lockdown corner like they have had in the past, so I just don't.
Well, Marlon Humphrey was frustrated. He called them out. He said, "We're not going to go far playing this defense." So even he's seeing that. But I think the key, Fernando, is you got to have enough defense to contain Mahomes. And we get it. They're terrible offensively, but when the playoffs come on, he's going to be good. The other key is also like putting up points here on that Spagnuolo defense. So. I think Justin Herbert could do it. I think Russell Wilson could do it. The thing is, they have the defense to maybe contain Mahomes a little bit. The Ravens and the Bengals, those teams like that, they don't. They don't.
No, they don't. All right, Gilbert, let's go over to my take. By the way, who is this? A radio station in Chicago, AM 1000. ESPN Radio just did me one of the biggest favors ever because they just set me up for this. Gilbert, take a listen to what happened.
Gotta be good if it's coming from Chicago.
We got to pull those experiences.
Coach, your cell phone's as bad as the offense right now.
Oh. They looked annoyed. Like they were.
The guy was like.
It must have been happening throughout the whole interview, I think.
Yeah, he was pretty frustrated. What I saw yesterday is an embarrassment. How the hell do you let Drake May come into Chicago, go 15-25 for 184, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, and you only put up 3 points? Essentially, look, this is what they scored, Gilbert. Field goal, 2-yard pass to Polk from Drake May. Okay. Field goal. And all you could muster up in the second quarter was a Cairo Santos 33-yard field goal.
3 points.
Caleb Williams, and I told you this, when Patrick Mahomes came into the NFL, he loved the home run shot. Baker Mayfield loved the home run shot. Quarterbacks in college now, they love the home run shot. When you have a head coach that comes in and tells you, hey, you need to settle down. You need to be able to check it down. Go to your tight end. You don't have to, like, I saw him yesterday in one of those. He rolls out near the red zone. He looks and he tries to like sidearm, do that Patrick Mahomes against your body, and he just threw it into the ground. And I'm like, where are you trying to go with the ball? Like, that's kind of my problem with all this, is that Mahomes at first wasn't like that. His first season, he'd do little things here and there, but it's when he kind of mastered the offense and mastered how to be a quarterback in the NFL that he started doing all this stupid stuff, throwing left-handed and all that stuff. So Andy Reid really sat him down after 1 year and told him, look, I need to get all the stupid part of your, not the stupid part, but the reckless part of your game out of your head and teach you how to do this. I told you in the offseason, I thought it was a disservice that they kept Eberflus as the head coach. It wasn't going to work. Matt Eberflus should have been fired. They should have started with a whole new regime. They should have thrown their hat into the Ben Johnson sweepstakes. Do I know if Ben Johnson's going to be a good head coach? No, I do not know. Nobody knows. But he's a good play designer. He's done good. I mean, last night, that's on the quarterback.
Yeah,
Jesus,
that was
God
Jared Goff.
almighty.
Yeah,
I don't know what that guy was doing last night. But going back to him, it's really frustrating when you see like a lot of these first overall picks. And I tell you guys, and I joke with you, Tyler Dragon, and all these guys, that quarterback rehab is Rams and 49ers. I get that, but the Bears should have started, like, you can't have another first round pick fail. They should have started with a new regime because you have the weapons. You just don't have the offensive line. He still doesn't have it in his mind that he does not have to go for the home run ball. So there is going to be frustration. I'm sure Keenan Allen's frustrated. DJ Moore certainly sounds frustrated. What's his name should not be frustrated. Rome Odunze, he's a freaking rookie.
Yeah,
Cole Kmet, all these guys. Gilbert, how does your rookie quarterback go 16 of 30, 120 yards? That is just terrible. And I remember before the season, everybody was talking about how they wanted. What's it? Original Wiss. I do agree with that. He's going to be way better than him, but at the same time, I mean, I just don't know if he's going to be a great head coach like everybody predicts he is, because he's trying to kind of nitpick to see where he goes. Which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but they need to do something. I might fire Eberflus if they. Who did they play this weekend?
I'm surprised it hasn't happened.
I thought they were going to do it today. Oh, they play the Packers. If they get blown out by the Packers on Sunday,
yeah. They're waiting for the NFC North schedule to come.
Yeah, I would pull the trigger. Or what are you waiting for? You're going to fire this man on Thanksgiving after you go into Detroit and get blown out by the Lions? Is that what they're going to wait for? Because I just really don't think. Oh, I do remember this, Hugh. Remember Caleb said you're not going to be having to punt that much to the punter when he got drafted. So that's the problem. You believe
8 quarters, no touchdowns against 2 teams that don't have the best defenses.
Exactly. So they need a whole overhaul. I'd be surprised if Keenan Allen stayed because he's going to be a free agent. No, I'd be really surprised if they stayed. I see him going somewhere else next year because I just feel like he really wants to win. Like Gilbert, when I tell you, I've been around him for years, and the way he sat in that locker room at the end, and he's like, I just want to win one, man. I want to have an opportunity to win one. I hope he does it. It's just he's going to need to go somewhere else to find it. But yeah, no, the Lions need to hire Ben Johnson. That should only be a one person. I mean, who else are you going to hire? There's no other offensive minded guy that you can go out and get that you're like, oh yeah, I'm confident that this guy could do it. It's Ben Johnson or bust, basically, because you're not going to go back to Matt Nagy. So I mean, because he's the understudy of Andy Reid, so you're not going to go back to that guy. So you might as well should just go do that. So, but I truly think that I'd be surprised if Eberflus made it past Thanksgiving Day. You'd be an asshole to fire him on Thanksgiving, but still, I would definitely. You have to think about it. But all right, Gilbert, let's quickly go through some of these other games. You mentioned that the Houston Texans, the Houston Texans and the Detroit Lions. 26. The Detroit Lions win on a walk-off 26-23. By the way, both of those last field goals by Bates, you could have put a paper in between there and it would have been crazy. Let's just go with it. CJ Stroud, 19 of 33, 232, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. On the other side, Jared Goff, 15 of 30, 240, 2 touchdowns, 5 picks. Gilbert, how in the hell did these Detroit Lions win the game and improve to 8-1?
People keep saying grit, I guess, gritty performance, and it's more, it could also be luck, also it could be the Texans' terrible offense, man. That offense is bad, Fernando, and like they really need a Nico Collins to play. They activated the guy, but they didn't play him. I don't know what the hell that was about. Keep him on IR, or I guess on the 21-day window a little longer, but they didn't. Maybe that was deflating. They probably thought maybe they'll get Nico Collins. They didn't. CJ Stroud can't use Tank Dell properly. He's not number 1 wide receiver. They got a touchdown pass to John Mechie. And I even told you guys, because your brother was trolling me a little bit in the group chat yesterday. I picked the Texans here in our pick'em challenge for Compas on the beat. And I'm like, I'm pissed off, man. These field goals, they're going to come back to bite them in the butt here in the second half. Sure enough, you couldn't put the Lions away in the first half because you were settling for, I think, 3 field goals, I want to say. But they got a massive lead, too, and they still couldn't do it. So That to me is on the offense. The defense gave you 5 interceptions. You couldn't do anything about it, CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud looked defeated on the sideline after that field goal by Bates there. So I don't know, man. I think they're total pretenders, and they're not gonna do anything. They're lucky that they're in the AFC South there, Fernando, because they've lost 2 games. They lost to the Jets, and the Jets got beat up by the Cardinals. The Jets are not good at all, and you lost to them. That should have been a give me there, but they're lucky they're in the AFC South. They're still 2 games ahead of the Colts. They're gonna win that division maybe. If they even go 3-5 down the stretch, it doesn't matter. It's a terrible division, but this offense is not good. Even Joe Mixon had a bad day yesterday running the football. So, yeah, I get the grit thing. I get the Dan Campbell culture that he's instilled there for the Lions. Everybody wants to talk about that. But actually, one of my editors sent me a joke earlier because he's a Vikings fan. The Vikings have like a terrible game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. They find a way to win in Jacksonville. They don't get called gritty or grit. They get called frauds and pretenders. But the Lions, they have an ugly game. They get called gritty and the real deal. So I think it's a little. I think it's just the way they built that culture there. But that was a bad game. I'm not gonna go here and be like, oh my God, these Lions really needed this game. No, they were bad, and the Texans did them a favor.
No, I completely agree. I think if the Chargers have to go into Houston, they're gonna feel good in the playoffs, like knowing that they have to go up.
Oh yeah, imagine if you get that 5-4. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, because just knowing that. Oh yeah, because the Chargers play Baltimore, and that essentially could catapult them to the 5th seed.
There you go. Big games coming up, for that.
Yeah, these next 2 weeks are huge for both the Ravens and the Chargers.
And you want the Steelers to probably get that division too because they had a hit.
If the Steelers beat the Ravens this weekend, they're going to be a wild card team. I just don't know how they'd be able to chase them back because. Oh wait, no, the Ravens are 7-3.
7-3. They don't have.
Okay, my bad.
Haven't had a bye week, but they're 7-2. The Steelers. Yeah, they could.
Yeah, they could still catch them. But going back to Houston just looks terrible. They've looked terrible the last few weeks. They just have not looked good. I think they went into Green Bay. They got pounded. They went into then Detroit came there. The game against the Jets, it's just been all bad. And they had 10 weeks to prepare for this. Their defense looked good. They didn't have Will Anderson. I get that. You said Nico Collins. I wonder if it was a matter of Nico Collins. They asked him, how do you feel? Good. I'm ready. All right. They activated him. And then maybe Monday he woke up and he's like, yeah, or Sunday he woke up and he's like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not feeling it right now.
Things are tricky, man. You don't want to pull it again.
Exactly. And they probably told him, hey, wait another week and we'll get it going. But yeah, just I also do not believe in the Houston Texans. I think CJ's kind of taking a step back, but it's not just him. The offensive line is bad. I did see when I was driving real quick that Laramie Tunsil went out. Did he ever come back or?
I can't recall, but it wasn't even with him on the field. The offensive line has been bad, and it's weird for him because they invested in the draft in his line, and they're still not doing well.
Yeah, no. So, the Detroit just keeps on rolling on. It's going to be interesting to see how they continue to hold. I want to see what Jared Goff does next week because that was a pretty bad performance from him. And they go, Jacksonville comes there. He'll be fine.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Yeah,
he'll drop 50 points there.
Yeah, no, he'll be fine. All right. Last few ones. Cardinals, do they need more respect after blowing out the Jets 31-6 at home, Gilbert?
Yeah, but not on this show because you know me. I've been hyping up these Cardinals all off season. But yeah, all of a sudden now the rest of America wants to take notice of the Cardinals here. So, it was a pretty impressive victory, and to beat down I thought it might be a little closer, but to just kind of show hey, you guys are not on our level. That's a big victory right there. They couldn't see the Cardinals there, the Jets that is, and then they beat down the Bears a week before that. So all these teams are a little mediocre or not great. They've been crushing them, like the Chargers, right? Handle the teams in front of you. So they already beaten the Rams. They've already beaten the 49ers. I get. By the way, Fernando, Brock Purdy played lights out in Tampa Bay, and that Brock Purdy Baker Mayfield matchup was pretty fun to watch. So I think the 49ers are going to be okay because with CMC back, Brock Purdy went from being a proven franchise quarterback without the stars. With the stars, he looks like an MVP contender. But I don't want to get too far ahead into that debate because we got burned last year with a debate for Brock Purdy. But anyways, the point is I still like the Cardinals even though CMC is back for the 49ers, and they keep proving me right every single week here. The defense has no star power whatsoever.
At all.
Buda Baker, I guess, a little older, but they shut down, Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson there. So not even a touchdown. There was just 2 field goals there for the Jets. So Time to put some respect on the Cardinals here. I don't know who they play next week. I think
they have the bye week this week, and
okay.
then they come back out of it. They go to the Seahawks. Here's going to be the tough one. They go to the Vikings.
So handle the Seahawks, and then we'll see what they have against the Vikings, and a big time game for the Rams to keep pace with the NFC West.
Gilbert, they may only lose 1 or 2 games left in the season. They go to the Seahawks. They go to the Seahawks. They go to the Vikings. They come back to face the Seahawks. They come back to face the Patriots, and they go to the Panthers, and they finish off against the Rams.
Okay. Yeah, the Rams will be tough there.
Wait, no. Sorry. They go to the Rams, and then they finish off with the 49ers coming into Arizona. So
yeah,
that is definitely.
And they already beat both of those teams once there, so they'll be confident. But they got to sweep the Seahawks, though, I feel like. I know it's a divisional matchup, but you have to keep pace. Yeah.
No, I completely agree. I agree with everything you said. The Cardinals are just booming right now. They're doing well. They're playing well. So they just need to continue. They're doing it behind James Conner, who's kind of an older back, and he's running the football well. Kyler Murray's doing everything he needs to do. I know he took a vicious shot yesterday, but he got back up and he kept it going. So definitely.
I think Conner might be the best running back available in free agency, but I know J.K. Dobbins is also out there. But yeah, he's doing well.
Yeah, definitely. Gilbert, last one. Chiefs stay undefeated by blocking Broncos' potential game-winning field goal as time expired, 16-14. How much longer can the Chiefs keep on winning this way? And do you feel like even though they're winning, they're still like they're showing their vulnerability, especially as of late?
Yeah, but I'm not worried about it. And terrible joke here, but when they got the field goal block there, I thought about that meme. I don't know if you watch Breaking Bad, Fernando, where Jesse Pinkman's like, he can't keep getting away with this. He can't keep getting away with this. I'm like, I feel like all the Chiefs haters and people who are tired of seeing Taylor Swift were like, what the hell? How did they get lucky here? There was no controversy. There was no flag. There was no Patrick Mahomes trying to save the day. Mahomes was on the sideline, probably biting his nails, freaking out about the loss. You're about to lose a Bo Nix here, and you can't get the field goal off there. So I'm sure the rest of America was frustrated there. But I'm not worried about this team. I know Victor brought up the 10-1 Eagles of last year who fatigued down the stretch, but the Chiefs are not.
This was Taylor Swift when
even I know this reference. I watch enough Harry Potter to know that. But the Chiefs are not the Eagles. They're not going to fade. They just find ugly ways to win. And then, I can't wait to see them play the Chargers again because the Chargers are a different team. But they still have a couple. They play the Bills, by the way, in week 11. But I would not be surprised if they beat down the Bills because they get up to the level of the competition. If you're a good team, they're going to play their best. If you're a bad team, they might have a zombie walk for 3.5 quarters and then find a way to win. So, yeah, maybe you get burned like this, playing this way 9 times out of 10. But now they're going into their 10th game. I keep saying it. Maybe the Bills do it, but they have a couple. I forget who else they play. Maybe the Chiefs. I think they play the Steelers one more time or once, not two. So they have a couple of tough games. The Steelers and
they go to the Bills next weekend.
The Bills, that's 3 right there.
They go to the Panthers.
That's easy.
They come back to that might be tougher than, especially the way the Panthers have been playing lately.
Yeah, the way they played down to their competition. Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. Then the Raiders go there for the Thanksgiving game.
Yeah, they don't.
And then the Chargers go there, and then they go to the Browns. The Texans come there, and they go to the Steelers, and they go to the Broncos. And that's a little tough. I don't think everybody's thinking that they're going to go undefeated. I don't think so.
I don't think so either. But I say they lose twice after hearing that. Yeah,
2 or 3.
Yeah,
2 or 3. That Steelers game is going to be really tough for them. But yeah, and Russell Wilson beat them last year at in a certain point. So yeah, that's definitely going to be Angel. They blocked it, so it was definitely impressive. Gilbert, right before I let you go, I know we're at the buzzer right here. You need to get over to SoFi Stadium. But listen to the tussle between friend of ours. He's been really cool with us, Shane Steichen, and a reporter going at it about Anthony Richardson today, this morning on Zoom.
Shane, and again, this is just to, I guess, clear the air or get some understanding. When we talk to you, we talk to AR, we talk to Cam Turner, like no one will say specifically what Anthony needs to work on. Can you just explain like what he did or didn't do or must do, not do to improve? And because everything that we always hear is, everything, or he has to, like, can anybody be specific about this?
Yeah, I think it's just consistent with the process. That's what it is. Just you got to go through the process every single day, and that's where it's at. You know what I mean? He's a great person, phenomenal human being. Like I said, not ever losing faith or trust in him. We're going through a process right now, and that's where it's at.
Can you explain the process? Like, not prepared the right way. Like,
nice try.
Those words, and you can take it. And I'm just trying to understand, not to put any words in your mouth or spin anything. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, well, like I said, we're going through a process, James. That's it.
Nice try. But the second he said that, I would have been annoyed too. Like, oh man, I just try to frame this the right way, the best way possible, and you just tell me trust the process.
Shane Steichen is from the Tom Telesco school of of it. So I mean,
we got to talk to him when he was the OC for the Chargers. He rarely gave us anything.
Yeah. The only time he would tell, I shouldn't get into this, but Gilbert, I was so frustrated yesterday. Can I tell you, and you and I, we talk about grievances and stuff. I'll do it on here. I don't go into Harbaugh's presser anymore. I don't go into Justin's presser. You know why? Because Herbert is still being asked about his relationship with Jim Harbaugh.
Oh, we're halfway through the season and we're still doing stories about that.
Let me go to the transcripts for quick.
There has to be a period where you stop asking for a month and then you go back to it before maybe the playoffs or something.
Hold on. Jim Harbaugh's influence on the team. Jim Harbaugh, what he brings to the team. Jim Harbaugh's offensive identity. On Coach Jim Harbaugh. On relationship with Coach Jim Harbaugh.
Wow.
Like, are you shitting me? Like, are we really like? It's just incredible at the point where we're at, where they keep on. I understand asking Jim about Justin, because he's gonna give you, like, did you hear what he said? He's gonna change his name to Beast Herbert. Yeah. So like that stuff is fine, but asking Herbert, like and that's why I stay in the locker room. And somebody told me, "Oh, you're just gonna stay out here." I'm like, I can't do it anymore. Those TV people piss me off. And
I was gonna say I know who's asking, but then you had to go say.
Oh yeah, no TV people. I don't give a shit. I'll say it. I'm like, yeah, no.
They need a good soundbite every week, and I guess people really want to hear Harbaugh and
just ask Herbert. Jim. You're not gonna get it from Justin, like, and Justin's great. I mean, by the way, last time, not this game, the Saints game. I saw his he had some nice Nikes. I was like, hey, those are fire. He's like, nah. He's like, they're okay. Oh, Matt Milano has the Bills have just activated his
that's big. That's good.
Yeah. So I was just like, oh, nice kicks. He's like, man, yeah. He's like, I try and do a little something. I was like, no, I was like, you're improving from last year to this year. I think you're getting better. And he starts laughing. And he's like, yours are pretty nice too. I was like, no, I just wear these to every game. And then he just starts laughing. He's like, no, I've seen some of yours. He's like, I've seen your Kobe's. They're pretty fire. I was like, oh, shoot. I was like, yeah, I appreciate it. You know, come on, Compas on the beat. So, yeah, just definitely pretty funny there. But
he could just call the Nike owners. He's one call away. So he can get whatever shoes he wants. So, yeah.
He should. He
honestly, being from Oregon.
Like, I remember last year, Machado showed me some Jordans that were going to drop in 6 months. And he's like, look, and I'm like, wow, like, I mean, that's what happens when you got it set like that. But all right, Gilbert, appreciate everybody for jumping on. Appreciate Hugh, James. I hope you find somebody to go with you to the game. Angel, Original Wiz, Rob, Jesse, Robert, Rob, Golden King's Toys, Palamont, everybody, Jorge.
Chile.
Everybody who Chile, Brett, everybody who jumped in here, we appreciate you guys. You guys are the best. Do not forget to check out the merch. It is back. Dan and Dago, by the way, is going to start tinkering with some stuff for shirts and stuff like that. So make sure you guys are tuning in, because he's got some ideas. As soon as his football season's over, he's going to be tinkering with some ideas for T-shirts. He already told me a couple, and they're actually pretty funny. So, yeah, it's going to be awesome. Make sure you guys check it out. Appreciate it. Angel, thank you so much. Shout out the merch. Shout the merch out. Yeah, appreciate it, Angel. You guys are, by the way, I haven't seen Nancy in a while. So she always is really good about shouting out the merch. Angel says, we need a Beast Dan shirt. Oh, that actually would be pretty good. By the way, some of the players on Dan's team found his Stone Cold Steve Austin video. So they keep on mentioning it to, like, every time they see him, they're like, here's to you, Stone Cold.
Yeah, I always wonder when they find the Dan videos. Coach Dan to Dan and video.
Yeah, so I appreciate you, Hugh. Always
Thank
dope
you,
watching.
Hugh.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, guys. Don't forget tonight, House of Horns. As soon as the Dolphins game is over, House of Horns will be jumping on, and talking about the game. Gilbert, the Seahawks just released starting linebacker Tyrell Dodson. Is that huge? Or?
Well, he is supposed to be one of their big time starters. I think they got him from the Bills, so maybe he goes back to the Bills. But
yeah, maybe. Now I remember him. Oh, him and Matt Milano would be back together.
He was supposed to fix like the run defense, and they haven't been good. That's why they traded for Ernest Jones, the former Rams there. So that probably tells you, it's not working there. But yeah, before we leave, last thing on the merch there, we don't have too many sizes on the hoodies, but I recommend getting the hoodies. But once we get rid of this product here, we're gonna get some more sizes. So definitely help us out there, and maybe
sizes.
Yeah, we got big boy sizes. So maybe you can use it for a gift for your fellow big boy friend, or maybe it's for yourself. We don't shame here.
By the way, there was an L last night for a big man. They were doing the flag. They were bringing out the flag during the national anthem, and he was backpedaling and he tripped and fell. And I was like, damn, I was sitting in between Chris Rim and Tyler Dragon. I'm like, damn it. The guy fell. I'm like, oh, I wonder. I was like, I just saw somebody fall. And then Tyler goes, I didn't see anything. I was like, watch. And the guy emerges. I'm like, damn it. It had to be a big boy. Damn it to hell. I'm like, we all need a backpedal. And then he just starts laughing. And everybody was like laughing during the national anthem. I'm like, oh, I'm going to get crucified here. I was like, I'm sorry. It was just a quick joke. We're done. All right, let's go. So
maybe Tyler didn't see it, but he did hear it. But just kidding. No,
no, he felt it.
Terrible. No, help us with the merch side. We're gonna use the funds there to get to New Orleans for Super Bowl Radio Row. That time of year gonna promote it. So if you're looking for a Christmas gift or for yourself, go ahead and do that. But yeah, we'll probably be annoying for the next few months there, but anything will go a long way. So we really appreciate that. But
exactly. And don't forget, tomorrow night, all 4 Compas are on, so make sure you guys check that out.
Yeah, so tonight, House of Horns recap, Rams, Dolphins, probably like around 9 p.m.-ish when I'm done with the locker room. And then, Tuesday night, we have the four Compas together. We'll see what Dan and Diego has to say, and what Victor, Javier Corona has to say too. But it's time to get going here, Fernando. I need to get on the freeway. On that note, nos vamos, pues, vámonos.